This is Prophecy Spotlight coming to you live from, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes south of Owensboro, Kentucky. And we are coming to you live tonight with an important program we're calling As the Days of Noah. As the Days of Noah. We are going to settle this thing tonight. This controversy, this misunderstanding, this false teaching about as it was in the days of Noah. We're going to deal with that tonight, and we're going to be very brief this evening. And I got a couple of announcements. But if you'd like to turn somewhere in the Bible for tonight, I think Matthew 24 is where we're going to start off. There's that verse, and then there's a couple others we're going to share. I have our book that Doc and I wrote, Bible Prophecy Terminology. And I'm actually going to read a little bit out of there. There's a chapter called As the Days of Noah. Doc and I each wrote this book. We took turns on different chapters. This is actually one that he wrote. And I'm skimming it here, and I don't, I'm not sure he actually said what the verse means. He showed what it did not mean. It's got nothing to do with the sons of God, but I'm not sure that he, let's see, the first 7 verses, all right. I don't think he actually gave what this verse is talking about, unless it's right here. Maybe it does. Let's see. What is meant when Jesus uses the term as the days of Noah and Lot, since he is answering the questions of the disciples concerning the days surrounding his second coming. It stands to reason. It's the comparisons of how one should live, knowing impending judgment is about to fall on humanity. The sign is not some fictitious return of some angelic activity, but the state of humanity living as they were in the times. So he does go into it right there, and we're going to look at that in just a second in more detail. Let's see how we doing on. Looks like the crowd is here, so welcome everybody. This is Brother Goodwin, and we've got Van Buren, Arkansas, listening in tonight. We've got Cynthia says she needs prayer, so pray for Cynthia Burnett. Pray for my daughter as well, Esther, the young lady that answers the telephone, the 800 number. She is recovering from a broken leg, a bad broken leg, and she's right out there. And she's had some bad nights. So pray for her recovery, her quick and thorough recovery. We got Alabama here. Joy is here from Alabama, and Sherry is here. Sherry Chalmers, and okay, good. And we got folks over on the YouTube channel as well. And this is February. Can you believe it? We are now at the 1st of February, 2024, and we are still here. That trumpet has not sounded yet. The dead in Christ have not yet risen, and we which are alive and remain are still here, awaiting the trump of God that shall soon sound. And it's coming. We're a day closer to it now. All right. So let me read the misunderstood passage, the misunderstood verse from Matthew chapter 24. Okay, and I do have another announcement or two. First of all, we're going to the studio tomorrow, and we will be doing a show about, I've been telling you about this, we're going to do a show about the different categories of prophecy. I really think this is going to help people. The different categories of scriptures that deal with different kinds of end time prophecy. You'll understand when you watch the show. It should air in about a week from tomorrow. And all right, so Matthew 24, and I'm just going to read verse 37 here. It says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Then he goes on to explain what he means, but everybody skips that. We skip the context. We don't get what the passage is saying, and not just a line out of a verse. Here's what most people think this means. Here's what your average prophecy preacher says that this means. They say that as it was in the days of Noah, in other words, there were fallen angels, there were Nephilim, half men, half human, half angel, giants, and all this stuff. UFOs and crazy stuff. As it was in Noah's day, it's going to be again at the last days, and that's why they're not looking for Jesus. They're looking for the return of the Nephilim. Well, let me tell you something. There's no such thing as the return of the Nephilim. No, there's not. There's no such thing. Doc explains the word Nephilim and why they use it, and I explain it in my book. The fact that they use that word Nephilim because it's kind of like flying saucer instead of UFO. If you use the word UFO, that can mean just about anything. It's unidentified. But a flying saucer, that's something out from outer space. That's something with little green men on it, isn't it? That's what your head tells you. And you see what I'm saying? The Bible uses giants in Genesis 6. There were giants in the land in those days. It didn't say Nephilim. It didn't say half angelic, half human. It said giants. Now they go supposedly to the Hebrew, and they say it comes from the word Nephilim. And when you use that word, you mark this down now. When you or you hear somebody use that word, it's like using the word flying saucer instead of UFO. Okay? Matthew 24, verse 30. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also also the coming of the Son of Man be. Now let me read verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered in the ark. And they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Where are these Nephilim in that passage? Where in this passage did you read some startling thing about in the days of Noah there was strange creatures and half human, half angelic beings and UFOs, and where did you read that? Let me tell you where you read that. You read that in some prophecy guy's book. That's right. You didn't read that in the Bible because it's not in the Bible. All right, let's look at another passage. Let's go to the book of Luke. It's the same story, and but let's read what he says in Luke. Luke 17 verses 26 to 30. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did not eat; they drank. All right, they did eat. It doesn't say they did not eat. I knew it didn't sound right. They did eat. They drank. By the way, that doesn't mean they were getting drunk. It doesn't mean that kind of drank. They married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. It says the same thing that Matthew said, just worded different, right? But the same exact thing. Verse 28, likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. Now, Luke gives another side of this story. He says, just like in the days of Noah, and now he says, as it was in the days of Lot. He's going to make the same point with two different men here. What was going on in the days of Lot? Oh, there it is, Brother Gunnar. That's them fallen angels coming down and seeing human women and lusting after them and marrying them, and giants or Nephilim came from them, half human, half man. Wrong. Says no such thing. Says no such thing. Verse 28, likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat. They drank. This isn't what you want to hear, is it? Brother Goodman, where's the excitement in that? See, we've been lied to. You've been taught something all your life that's not true. When you hear somebody talk about as it was in the days of Noah, you know what I'm talking about. What are most people talking about? They're talking about some strange time before the flood When fallen angels were on the earth and they were intermarrying with human women, and half breeds, half angel, half human people are walking around, UFOs and all that nonsense. That's what goes in your head. That's what you think. We've been taught that all of our life. And it's a lie. It is a lie. Likewise, in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold. Brother Goodman, where's the exciting stuff? This is the exciting stuff. They ate, they drank, they bought stuff, they sold stuff. That's what it says. They planted, they builded. The same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. What is he saying? He's saying, as it was in Lot's day, right before judgment fell, and as it was in Noah's day, right before the flood came, so shall it be when Christ comes back the second time. So, what was it like in those days? What was it like in Noah's day before the flood? What was going on in Lot's day before judgment came and God burned everything? The people were eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, planting their gardens, and building things. Now, let me ask you a question. Is there anything devilish about any of those things? Is it a sin to marry? Is it a sin to eat? Is it a sin to drink water or drink some beverage? No. Is it a sin to plant your garden? Of course not. What is he saying? What is he saying? He's saying in the days of Noah, right before the flood, people were not paying attention. People did not believe that anything was coming. They were living their lives apart from God, apart from his warnings. They were not ignoring the preachers, and they were eating, living it up, drinking, living it up, marrying, getting married, giving their daughters in marriage, giving their sons in marriage, building things, planting things, living their life as if there was no end in sight. That's what the days of Noah is all about. Nothing to do with fallen angels, UFOs flying through the sky, little green men, women getting abducted by UFO. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of that. Hey, read it for yourself. Write those verses down. Matthew 24, verses 37 to 39. Write that down. Go read it for yourself and realize I've been lied to. These guys I listened to yesterday, they lied about this. That's not what the Bible says. Luke 17, write it down. Luke 17, verse 26 to verse 30. I'm not lying to you. I read you exactly what the scripture says. And then verse 28, Luke 17, verse 28, all the way to verse 30, talks about the days of Lot. Exact same thing. Only he added planting and building there. Those are not wrong, sinful things. What God is saying is these people were living like judgment was not coming and the end was not near, and like they had forever to live their life when God had warned them the end is near, and they ignored it. The Bible is telling us that that's how it's going to be the second time. When Christ comes on the scene, that's how it's going to be. People are not going to be looking. People are not going to be expecting. People are going to be living like they've got years and decades to live their life. That's what the days of Noah. And that's the error there. That's the wrong that God is pointing out. What they were doing was not sinful. The problem was they were ignoring the signs, they were ignoring the message from the preachers, they were ignoring the fact that God said, I'm going to bring judgment. And they ignored it and they acted like they had decades left of their life. And the next day their life was over. God is saying that in the end time, before Christ comes back, it's going to be like it was in Lot's day and Noah's day. Nothing to do with Nephilim, fallen angels, all that nonsense. I'm not saying there's not, of course, there's fallen angels. 1/3 of the angels fell. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm saying this thing about Nephilim and half breeds is a lie. And they use this to teach that lie, and it's not there at all. Okay? Um, Bible prophecy terminology. You can get that at Protestant Spotlight, and go check that out. It is 200 pages right on the button there. There's a picture in the back of the book of Doc and I in the studio, and so um, there's a 4 or 5 pages about the days of Noah there. All right. Exactly right, Doug. Not paying attention, not watching. Christ comes when most people are least expecting. Um, they're talking about the evil in those days. There was wickedness in those days. Genesis 6 talks about it. Men had turned their backs on God. The point is, they were the days of Noah, as is explained in what I just read, and the days of Lot is not even necessarily about the wickedness, although there was wickedness there. There was wickedness in Sodom. There was wickedness in Noah's day. But that's not what the days of Noah and the days of Lot is talking about. What that's talking about, as I just read, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, building and planting, as if they had the rest of eternity, and there was no God, there's no judgment, there's no nothing, no change coming. Not realizing that the next day the flood was coming, or in Lot's day, the fire was coming. And okay, um, so there we have it. Now let me share this real quick. I've been telling you for several weeks now a need that we have here at Protestant Spotlight. I'm in my office here. We have got to upgrade. I need a studio that's here that I can use every day. I'm really wanting to do a live show, maybe every day for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something live every day. And boy, haven't we jumped into 2024 in a hurry, huh? At 2 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, on day one of 2024, 2 in the morning, the big earthquake and all that hit Japan. And of course, the world's at war. America is going bankrupt. We've got Israel hated by half of America, and we've got the usurper in chief up there in Washington, and all the deniers and all the hate, and now what have we got? Possibly civil war coming. Yeah. And January just ended. We're barely into the new year, and this thing's going downhill fast. Fast. Trump was just found liable for 80-some million dollars to give a woman that didn't know the date of her attack from supposedly from Trump, didn't even know what year it happened. Can you believe that? Had zero evidence, zero. And you hear these people on television, CNN and MSNBC, they're talking about Trump got what he deserved, and she was proved nothing, not one thing was proved. Her word against his, and they found him guilty. That's not justice. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. That's dangerous. That one person, one woman can accuse somebody, and without any evidence. By the way, earlier she had talked about this dress that she had on, and this is the dress I was attacked in. And they found out, by the way, that wasn't allowed in court. And we know why now, because they realized that dress was not invented or not designed until 10 years ago, long after this supposedly happened. Or 10 years after this thing happened, this is when this dress was made. She's a liar. She's a liar. That's what she is. She lied about things, and nothing was proven. Nothing. Now, if you think that's justice, you don't know what justice is, and you better hope you don't get accused one day. That's the day we live in today, and things are happening fast. We're coming into February now. This is February 1st. What's coming this month? Boy, is time flying by, huh? Time is flying by. I thought of this. Truth is falling in the streets. Justice is turned away backwards. We don't have justice anymore. We don't have the truth anymore. And by the way, the 4 or 5 guys beat up the 2 New York City policemen. Did you see that? Just 2 days ago, I think. Did you see that? Unbelievable, kicking them on the ground. Can you believe it? Do you know those guys were arrested, and within 3 or 4 hours they were released back on the street? That's not justice. How can a people beat up their policemen out in public, right on the sidewalk, and be released a few hours later back out on the street? By the way, these were not Americans; these were immigrants, illegal. These were illegals, and I guess that's why they let them go, huh? Crazy. Okay, all right. Remember, I said I've said for the last few weeks a need we have, a studio. I need a studio here, and here's what I think's the best thing for us: an RV. The beauty of an RV is I don't have to put electric in. I don't have to, See, I thought about building something or having one of them storage sheds brought in and make a studio out of it. The problem with all it is that they come as a shell. There's no insulation. There's no electricity. There's nothing. I'd have to go in there, insulate it. I'd have to put electric in it. I'd have to put air conditioning in it. I'd have to put heat in it, lights, and the floor, and all this stuff. An RV already has all that. You just back it in there, plug it in, and it's ready to go. So in the summer, it's got an AC unit. In the winter, it's got heat. It's got lights. It's ready. In fact, it's got the little table and chairs all ready for a studio. So we've been asking folks out there that are listening, that love our ministry, love what we're doing. If you have an RV that you don't use anymore or you have no need for, and you'd like to donate it to our ministry, we would love to talk to you about that. And it can be a pull behind. It can be a fifth wheel. I don't have a fifth wheel in my truck at the moment, but we could work that out. It can be a Class C, the motorized one. It can be a Class A. It doesn't matter. It's just got to be usable, and it can't have been on fire and half of it's burned, right? It's got to be roadworthy for us. I don't mind fixing up a little bit. That's okay, but um, you know, um, anyway, it's got to be something that I can move without a whole lot of expense. So pray about that. If that's you and you've got something and you'd like to talk to me about it, get a hold of me. Just contact me and give me a phone number or whatever. Give me a good time to call, and I promise I'll get back to you. And okay, so all right. And all right, so we'll be at the studio tomorrow. We'll be on CTN tomorrow night already. That show is on YouTube, but it's not public yet. I'll make that public possibly tonight. I was supposed to have done that this morning, and I did not. This thing with my daughter's got everything out of whack here on our schedule, but but I will get that made public either tonight or in the morning. I better do it tonight because we're leaving in the morning to go to the studio. So I better get that done as soon as we get off the air. You're going to find that an interesting show that we did. And pray for my mom. She's struggling with pain in her foot. That's a lady named Esther that's asking for prayer for her mom, pain in her foot. And we had a prayer request over here, somebody else in pain earlier. And of course, my daughter is recovering from that broken leg. And what else we got here? Gary Dice is here. I don't know if he's late or not, but he's here. And let's see. Marvin Mitchell, my Friday night church. The show on Friday night. Marvin, do you watch it on TV, on CTN, or do you watch it on YouTube? Anyway, Douglas says I'd like to get an RV myself. Anyway, okay. And by the way, an RV, I mean, if it's roadworthy. Not only can I use it here as a studio, it's a traveling studio. I can travel and I can meet somebody and do interviews with that thing if I so choose. And we would have need for that now and then. Could be. By the way, yeah. Anyway, um, all right. So pray about that. Pray about that need, and let me know if there's anything that you think that you could do to help us with that. We would love to hear from you. If you've got one sitting in your yard, you don't think you'll ever use it anymore, and you'd like to get it over here or have me come get it, get a hold of me. Um, let's see. It's not the same as being at church versus being at home. And yeah, I understand that, Esther. Um, okay. By the way, we are wanting to get some prophecy conferences on the calendar. Um, I've called a couple of preachers so far, and we have struck out so far. I would like to get 3 or 4 conferences this year for Doc and I both to do. But I also am able to come by myself to your church and do Sunday through Wednesday, whatever you want. We would love to do that. So talk to your pastor. Um, talk to your pastor, or if you're a pastor, talk to your people. Give me a call, and I'll explain to you what I can come and do at your church. And we'll be a blessing. We'll be a blessing to your people, and they'll get a deeper understanding of where we are in God's prophetic calendar. Okay, let's see. Esther says our church is having a missions conference starting on Sunday through Friday. What kind of church are you in, Miss Esther? Are you that sounds like a Baptist church to me. Of course, Doc and I are independent Baptists. When you hear about a missions conference, that's a kind of a giveaway. I'm not saying other denominations don't have missions conferences, but it's really a Baptist thing, I think. And so anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to get off here and remember. All right, Northwest Bible Baptist Church, is that the one up in Elgin, Illinois? Miss Esther, is that who used to be Keith Gomez's church? It's now yeah, Elgin, Illinois. Okay. Yep. I know the church. I have not been there, but I knew Brother Gomez. I know Brother Gomez. When I mean, we don't know each other on a personal basis, but I've heard him preach many times. Had him for a class in Bible college. So Miss Esther, are you a college student, or did you graduate from there, or are you just a church member there? Curious. I'd love to get up there. Not that I want to hang around Chicago too long, but um, especially when this thing really falls apart. Man, oh man, big city is the last place you want to be. I don't know how you're going to get out of there if this thing falls apart. So anyway, love to. All right, just a church member, okay? And I went to Bible college an hour or so from your church, and he had already been pastoring that church when he came and taught. The class that I took with Brother Gomez was How to Start a New Testament Church. That was the name. That was the class. All right. Okay. Well, check out this book if you don't have it. And some of the stuff I read was in here. There's a table of contents at the beginning of the book. Gives all the terms that we explain in this book. I'll just read a few of them and we'll get off of here. The abomination of desolation. What in the world is that? Well, page 195. It's in alphabetical order, by the way. The Antichrist. You can read about him, page 187. Apostasy. As the days of Noah. We talked about that tonight, page 77. Babylon. Battle of Armageddon. The bride of Christ. Budding of the fig tree. The church age. Confirming the covenant. Creative week. The day of the Lord. The day of Christ. End times, Ezekiel's bones. See all the terms you've heard us talk about in other prophecy guys. You can turn to those terms in this book right here, and you can read what that means, what that phrase means in the Bible. And okay, 200 pages, good stuff, well written. But Doc wrote half the book, and I did half of it. We split up all the different terms, and nice book, good book, helpful book. Okay, all right. Well, amen. Well, I'll get off here now, and we'll see you next. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. We started early tonight. We came on at 7:30 on Monday night, and a couple of people, well, brother Dice for one, has suggested maybe 7:30 would be better for everybody instead of 8:30. We've been doing 8:30 for several months. So tell me what you think. Would 7:30 Central Time be a better time to come on with our live shows here? Let me know. Does 8:30 work better? 7:30? I did 8 tonight. I compromised. I went in the middle. Came on at 8:05. What do y'all think? And we'll give her some thought, and maybe next week we'll start doing 7:30. Marvin said yes. I don't know. I think he. Don't just say yes, because I'll come back and look at this later. I don't know what you're saying yes about. I think you're saying yes. 7:30 would be better. So tell me what you mean. There. Don't just say yes or no. Say 7:30 is better, or 8:30 is better, or 8. I know we can't please everybody, but we gotta try to please Dr. Gary Dice. That's the main thing. Gary Dice needs help. I mean, he needs help, and he needs a heart. And okay, all righty. Don't forget, pray about that RV. If you've got one, you want to call me, get a hold of me. And if you're a pastor or you have a pastor, pray about doing something at your church this year. We'd love to get something set up. Okay, but until then, keep your eyes on them skies.